All right, Rob, let's get right into it because there's a topic that you are hot on. Last night, the Dallas Mavericks go into Minnesota and steal game one of the Western Conference Finals, and along with it, home court advantage with a 108-105 W over the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the stars from the Mavericks showed up. Kyrie gives them 30. Luka gives them 33.
And it was great, Chris, because it was Kyrie early and Luka late.
Did not.
You know what I mean? Like, it was perfect.
Yep. And they tend to seem like they do that. Usually it's Luka, kind of earlier and Kyrie late. But, yeah, it's great to have two incredible stars and offensive juggernauts like that to rely on. But for the Timberwolves, Rob, their two main guys did not deliver. Karl-Anthony Towns goes 6 for 20 with 16 points. And Anthony Edwards, who to his credit, Rob, did have 11 rebounds, a team high, and 8 assists. Actually, both the 11 rebounds and the 8 assists matched game highs with a couple players from Dallas. But he had a team high, or he had 19 points. Not a team high, but he shot 6 for 16, Rob, and 16 of his shots, or 12 of his 16 shots, were three-point attempts. So what did you take from last night's game?
And this is not, Chris, I think he's an outstanding talent. He's got a bright future ahead of him. But I think this was another example, and we've seen this now of late. He started the postseason like unbelievable 40-point games. Everybody's ranting and raving. People want to crown the Ant-Man as the face of the NBA and all that. I'm here to say, pump the brakes. Anthony Edwards is not, N-O-T, the face of the NBA. He's a tremendous player. His team is having a fantastic run. They have a chance to get to the NBA Finals. I'm not writing them off. I'm not writing him off. But let's just deal with the facts, not the feelings. We understand you want an American to be that guy and to hold that banner for the NBA and for us to be proud that a bro is leading the NBA and it ain't a guy from some country we've never been to and will never get to. I get it.
I've actually been to Serbia.
Yeah, you, but not nobody else. But the facts remain, Chris. He's now had under 20 points in 4 of his last 6 games. The big game 7, a no-show offensively, 6 for 24. I mean, that's not a big-time performance in a big game. It gets glossed over because they won and other people stepped up. And that's all I'm saying. Is like the rhetoric and the love affair and all that do not match the stat sheet. Not right now. And I'm not, Chris. I am not discounting him. I'm not saying he's not a great player and has a beautiful future. He's 22, but he is not. Can I spell this for you, Rob G? N-O-T, the face of the NBA.
Okay, look, you make some good points there. And I think we have to be honest, Rob. When we say the face of the NBA, that's one guy. And correct me if you think I'm wrong, Rob. I'm going back to like the late 70s. The guys that have been the face of the NBA. Dr. J. In the 80s, I'll give you Magic and Bird. Then Michael Jordan. And then LeBron James. Now, around them or in years in between them, there are faces of the NBA. Between Jordan and LeBron, Rob, I would say there was Shaq, there was Kobe. There's a group of guys. As LeBron, during LeBron's tenure, Steph, KD, and some other guys have been, kind of those secondary faces. When Jordan was ruling, Rob, Barkley, David Robinson, Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, those were some of these secondary faces. I think, Rob, right now, the notion that Anthony Edwards was at least, to this year or next year was going to be the face of the NBA. I always think that was kind of a misnomer. I think he'll be one of the faces. Right now, those faces, Rob, Luka. I mean, you still got the old guard, Steph, LeBron, KD.
Steph and LeBron ain't going nowhere, right? They still are part of the face of the NBA.
Yeah, still, right, and they still might be the face, even though they're not even in the playoffs at this point. But that next group, Rob, is Luka and Jokic and I don't know if I say Embiid just because he never goes deep into the playoffs, but Jason Tatum and yes, Anthony Edwards, Giannis, yes. And I think what's interesting, Rob, about this era of parity that we really are going through is, will one of these guys emerge as the face? I mean, you have to be a dominant. Look at the guys I'm talking about. LeBron won 4 and was winning, he won 4 MVPs. Jordan won 6 and had 5 MVPs. Magic and Bird won 8 championships between them and 6 MVPs. So, I don't think Anthony Edwards was about to be the face. Now, look, if they win this championship, Rob, and they win next year too, then maybe, right? But I don't think he was going to just, even if he wins this championship, is he going to be the only face? I wouldn't go that far, because I think, Rob, with these guys I've mentioned, they were clearly the best players in the league with a little bit of a gap in between them and the second guy.
And he doesn't have that, Chris. And
he's not that. Now, I agree. Look, Michael Jordan himself, as you know, Rob, texted me. We were texting, and he said he sees similarities. So there are some similarities to him and Jordan. But I don't think, Rob, and maybe I'll be proven wrong, I don't think he'll ever be on the level of a Jordan.
I don't think you're wrong. I just think that's a lofty goal.
Yeah.
Even a guy like LeBron, who has had so much success.
Well, you would say, I would say, and we both obviously think Jordan's the GOAT, but I would say LeBron is on that level.
He's on a conversation.
That GOAT conversation.
But right.
Yeah.
But
I don't see Anthony Edwards being a top 10 all-time player, Rob.
I just don't see it either. And my point, Chris, is just if you wanted to be excited about his first 8 playoff games, Chris, right? He averaged 32.1 points and he shot 56% from the field. That's why he got everybody's attention, and he's an exciting player, right? His style of play.
Yep.
Okay? But in the last 4 games, he's averaging 20 points, Chris, and shooting 34.7%. I mean, the numbers have come way down.
Right.
And then I don't want to hear from a 22-year-old that he was tired from guarding Kyrie. That sounded like an excuse to me.
Well, but he clearly was. You saw him.
Chris,
you saw it, Rob.
Chris,
it was I don't think he was mentioning it as an excuse. I think it was clear. Now, you can say you don't want to say it. Okay, I don't really look at it as him looking for an excuse. But he clearly was, which that's a problem. Why is my 22-year-old the most tired guy on the court? I get he played 40 minutes, but so did Kyrie and Luka.
This is what I'm saying. And I'm just saying, Chris, some things you can keep to yourself. You might be, but I'm out there. And if I really can't guard him or I'm too tired to play, then come out the game and let some fresh legs come in. Don't after the fact, when you lose the game, say, I was dead. Because if they would have won the game, I doubt he would have mentioned how tired he was.
I don't doubt he would have. I think, Rob, that was not Anthony. What was going on with you in the fourth? Man, I was exhausted, y'all. Rob, there was no denying that. And again, you still can argue, well, you don't even need to say that. That's fine. But the dude was spent. And I think
TMI.
I think he was physically, but also emotionally spent. And I actually think the Timberwolves as a whole were emotionally spent from that series with Denver. I mean, and that's what they have to be careful about, Rob. That can come off for a team that's never been this far, right? Is not used to getting this type of attention and all that, to beat the defending champions. That was like almost, we won it, we did it. Yes, like you can get yourself into an emotional state where you think that's the championship. And so I thought they were spent and they weren't ready, and their coach said so the day after the film session. They weren't ready for game one, and they paid for it. Look, I don't want to rip. I'm not ripping Anthony Edwards. I don't care about like the last 4 games. He's only averaged 20, whatever you said it was. Because it's about winning, period. And Michael Jordan had some series where he wasn't the most efficient, but they won. I think one finals he may have shot 41%.
Yeah, but he hasn't won anything yet, and
right?
That's why.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not
saying he has to be perfect.
4 games but and say, oh, he's an imposter. I care about winning, and they won 2 of those games.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is, as time goes on, you start to look like he started out like a house of fire. He's not going to. It just means that he's normal and he's not going to be able to. Well,
he better not be tired anymore. It. I mean, that's what he can't be tired, and so yeah, here's the quickly, Rob, before we go to the callers. He is somewhere. I think his approach to the game is in between Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. Meaning Jordan, Kobe were looking to score every time. LeBron is really looking to pass or make the right play. I think Edwards is somewhere in between there. And because I love the fact that he plays in the system, that he doesn't just always force the action, that he's looking for his teammates. And if somebody has it cooking, he's more than willing to give it to him, and he'll make, double teamed. He's going to pass the ball. I like that. But there are times, and he's got to learn this. And as a 22-year-old, he's learning. He's young. He's in that process. But he's got to learn quickly within this series, to me, that sometimes I'm the best player on my team, if not the best player on the court. And sometimes I just need to take over a game, if I can. And I need to try. And I think that's what he has to learn, Rob, that he can take. There's times where you that guy. You are the face of the Timberwolves. You might not be the face of the league. You're the face of the Timberwolves. So sometimes I need you to just say, you know what? I'm taking over. And that's what I think he's got to learn.